When you hear this sound, turn the page. When you hear this sound, the book is over.
The Littles Have a Merry Christmas. Adapted by Teddy Slater from The Littles and the Trash Tinies by John Peterson. Illustrated by Jacqueline Rogers. There were tiny people with nice long tails living all over the big valley. Tree tinies lived in trees. Trash tinies lived in the city dump. And of course, house tinies lived in houses. But no matter where they lived, tiny people never let big people see them. It was almost Christmas, and all the tinies were full of holiday cheer. Especially the Littles. The Littles lived in a secret apartment inside the walls of the big family's house. Uncle Nick had just moved in. It was time for him to rest after 30 years of fighting mice in Trash City. Uncle Nick looks sad, Lucy Little said to Tom. I think he misses his friends in Trash City. I wish we could bring Uncle Nick's friends here for Christmas, said Tom Little. That would cheer him up. But Trash City is hidden way under the dump, Lucy said. We'd never find it. I know where it is, Mr. Little said. He showed them a map. Nick made this for me a long time ago, he said. That afternoon, Mr. Little, Tom, and Lucy stood outside in the cold. They were waiting for the garbage truck. When no one was looking, the Littles climbed onto the truck and hid. The truck stopped at every house on the way to the dump. Stop, go, stop, go. It was a long, bumpy ride. At last, they reached the dump. When the truck drove away, the Littles put up their tent and ate a picnic dinner. Then they curled up in their sleeping bags and said good night. The next morning, Mr. Little led the way to Trash City's secret entrance. The Littles slipped and slid down the cold, icy pipe, down, down, down. Suddenly, they shot out of the pipe and landed in a heap. A crowd of tiny people came to look at the Littles. They were all wearing old but neatly patched clothes. I'm Mayor Isty Clutter, said a man in a brown hat. Welcome to Trash City. The Littles told the mayor who they were and what they wanted. Mayor Clutter took the Littles on a tour of the city. Then he introduced them to the Ash family, the Bits, and the Scraps. They all wanted to help Major Nick. So did the McDust twins, Tippy and Winky. Major Nick was like a father to us, Tip told Tom. That afternoon, 5 tiny passengers took the long, bumpy ride back to the Big's house. Uncle Nick was so glad to see the twins that he laughed out loud. Ho, ho, ho! Late that night, the tiny people tiptoed into a dollhouse under the big Christmas tree. This is the perfect place for our Christmas party, Uncle Nick said, and he had a very Merry Christmas after all.